The America's Got Talent 2025 stage had seen danger, laughter, tears, and miracles, but nothing prepared the audience for the silence that walked onto the stage that night. When the host announced the next contestant, the crowd barely reacted. A small boy appeared from backstage, thin shoulders, worn sandals, and a shirt that looked older than him. His name was Mateo Cruz, age 13, from a fishing village in the Philippines. His accent was soft, his voice almost shy, and as he waved, the massive theater swallowed him whole. Simon Cowell leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, scanning the boy the way he had scanned thousands before. He had learned to read disappointment quickly. The audience whispered. Some smiled politely. Others looked confused. There was no instrument, no props, no dancers, no dramatic setup. Just a boy and a microphone. The host asked Mateo what he would be doing. Mateo smiled gently and said he would teach the world how to stay calm. Laughter rippled through the crowd. A few claps followed, uncertain and awkward. One judge raised an eyebrow. Another leaned forward, curious but doubtful. Simon said nothing, but his expression tightened. He had heard big promises before. Mateo explained that he grew up near the ocean, where storms could take everything in minutes. His father was a fisherman who never returned from one storm. His mother sold dried fish on the roadside. When Mateo spoke, he didn't beg for sympathy. He spoke like someone who had already accepted life's weight. He said when fear becomes too loud, calm becomes the only way to survive. Simon interrupted him gently and asked, "So what exactly are you going to do for us today?" The tone wasn't cruel, but it wasn't kind either. It was honest. Mateo nodded and said, "I will show you calm." The lights dimmed slightly. No music played. Mateo closed his eyes. The audience shifted in their seats. Someone coughed. A few seconds passed. Then 10. Then 20. Something strange began to happen. The crowd quieted, not because they were told to, but because they felt pulled into the stillness. Mateo began breathing slowly, deeply, audibly through the microphone. Each breath was steady, controlled, deliberate. At first, it felt uncomfortable. Americans were used to constant noise, constant stimulation. But slowly, the tension in the room changed. People leaned back. Shoulders dropped. Judges stopped fidgeting. The camera cut to Simon, who was still watching closely, but his expression had softened without him realizing it. Mateo began speaking quietly, guiding the audience through a memory. He described sitting on a broken dock after the storm that took his father, watching the ocean rage, then slowly settle. He said the ocean taught him that even the strongest chaos eventually gets tired. His voice never shook. It never cracked. That was the first twist. A child who had lost everything, yet spoke with peace adults spend lifetimes chasing. As he spoke, something unexpected happened. A woman in the audience began crying silently. Then another. A veteran later said he felt his heartbeat slow for the first time in years. The camera caught judges exchanging looks. This was not an act. This was an experience. Mateo asked everyone to close their eyes. Shockingly, most did. Even Simon hesitated, then slowly closed his eyes too. The boy guided them through fear, through noise, through pressure, and then into stillness. 90 seconds felt like an hour. Or maybe a second. When Mateo finally opened his eyes, the room was silent. No applause. Not yet. Mateo bowed slightly and stepped back. For a moment, no one moved. Then something rare happened. Simon Cowell stood up, not clapping, just standing. His face had changed. He looked unsettled. The audience erupted into applause, not screaming, not cheering, but deep, emotional applause. Simon spoke slowly. He admitted that he had underestimated Mateo. He said something he had never said on the show before. He said, "I didn't know I needed that." The crowd reacted instantly. Judges nodded. One wiped away tears. Another said this was the most unexpected audition of the season. But the biggest twist was still coming. Simon asked Mateo why he chose AGT. Mateo answered that America felt loud to him. He said if calm could survive here, it could survive anywhere. That line exploded across social media within minutes. Simon pressed further, asking if Mateo wanted to win. Mateo smiled and said winning would help his village rebuild their school, but teaching calm mattered more. Simon paused, then did something no one predicted. He hit the golden buzzer. Golden confetti rained down as Mateo stood frozen, overwhelmed. He didn't scream. He didn't jump. He simply closed his eyes and breathed. That image became iconic. A calm child standing in golden chaos. Backstage, producers revealed that Mateo had once been rejected from a local talent show because he was too quiet. Tonight, his quiet shook America. In the weeks that followed, Mateo's audition went viral across the USA. Therapists shared it. Teachers played it in classrooms. First responders said it helped them sleep. Even Wall Street traders admitted they watched it before work. Simon later revealed in an interview that he had been dealing with intense stress and health issues. He said Mateo's audition reminded him why the show existed in the first place. Not to impress, but to connect. Mateo didn't win AGT 2025. That's another twist. He placed second. But something bigger happened. He was invited to speak at schools, hospitals, and conferences across the country. His village school was rebuilt by donations from viewers. His mother no longer sold fish by the road.